So welcome, everyone. I think we're probably good to go. We're about 5 after. I'm going to share my screen again, and I'll just kick us off real quick, guys. I want to I mentioned a little bit about just what we're going to be covering as far as print on demand, but I got to get my screen. There we go. Now I can see everybody. Okay. Can you guys see my screen okay? Is that going to be too small? I have my cheat sheets over here, but that's just how you do it. We'll see if you can give me a thumbs up if everything's good. That would be helpful. So we're going to be talking about print on demand, and I'm really excited to have Stephen and Nate. If you guys don't know these guys, they're pretty cool, and they're brothers in case you didn't figure that out. And Stephen is the older brother. Sorry, Nate. I'm an older and a younger, so I get to I kind of understand the...
Been that way our whole life.
Funny how that works.
Never go change.
That's funny. But I'll let you guys introduce yourselves and just kind of like your authority on the topic here. Mm-hmm. I would say for me, print on demand, my focus has really been on the KDP side. And if you're not familiar with KDP, it's Amazon's self-publishing platform that is print on demand. And we'll talk about what print on demand is, and we're going to talk about 5 benefits of print on demand. And I really, it's just a cool strategy that we're probably going to be digging into a little bit more over the year, even just talking about. I think it's going to be coming more to the forefront. So dare I say that we're cutting edge? Like, I think I can say that.
Especially the way that we have kind of done the research and how we're scaling our business now. We're able to test and try a lot of things and earn as we learn, which I think is cutting edge. I think a lot of people are running PPC ads. I think a lot of people are spending money on Facebook ads and trying to understand the marketplace and build an avatar. And I feel like we've come up with a very clever way to test the market with actual products very quickly and at least get some feedback so that we can understand the customer base because of what they're actually purchasing.
With no inventory cost.
With no inventory cost.
You're giving them spoilers, but yeah, I love what you said. The earn as we learn. That is pretty cutting edge, I think. And that is almost sounds like it's too good to be true. And it isn't, because there's still a lot of work you do. It's just not a monetary investment. So, and you can be making money, but you are putting time into it. So why don't we you guys want to introduce yourselves real quick and talk about like what your experiences have been and why you even feel like you have a voice. I think you guys have a strong voice and authority to be able to speak print on demand. So I don't want to put you on the defense. I want you to just kind of step in and what is your experience and what makes you credible, I guess, to be talking about this.
I guess I'll start. I've been selling online for probably 15 years.
Name first.
Oh, sorry, Stephen.
There we go.
The older brother. I know it says Nathaniel probably somewhere down here, but I've been selling online for 15 years. I've kind of run the gamut. It's always been mostly a side hustle until my brother came and moved with me due to some family things, and my mother came and moved with me because of some family issues. But we kind of said, okay, what's something that we can do together as a family business? And then we kind of continued on reselling and then going to wholesale and then going to private label. It wasn't a good fit for our business or for us as a family. We made it work. We made money with it, but it wasn't really using our skills. So I'm very analytical. I'm very good at the data. I'm very good at finding the customers, seeing what they're purchasing, going after certain products and having a lot of success with that. Nathaniel was an excellent box packer. He could work the heck out that tape gun, but he didn't enjoy it. And it was always like causing a lot of stress. So I don't think I let him go, but he was kind of doing his own thing and working at different places using his skills. And then we were able to kind of join forces. And then from Jenny and Ryan pushing us out, started helping a lot of people. We have a group now that we've grown over 1,000 people in the last few months. And just helping people with merch is kind of what we started on. And now we're just trying to grow that and have people understand the print on demand business the way that we use it. Merch is a tool that we use. KDP is a tool that we use. And then tonight, hopefully we'll be showing you kind of why we're using it as a tool, not like our business is built off of that.
Yeah. I don't know if I wear the excellent box packer hat very proud, but you were
really
can
good.
add that
You're
to
really good
my
at it. Do
resume.
it.
So
That's
my
funny.
name is Daniel Hibbert, Steven's little brother. And so while Steven is really good at understanding Amazon in a whole, and he's been selling online for quite a while, I was just always his like helping hand inside of that. If for no other reasons, at some points just for pure entertainment out of how boring some of the stuff we had to do was. But my passion and what was driving me was graphic design. So that's what I got into. I was always doing graphic design as a side hustle, even in high school and things like that. I really loved that. I got a few professional jobs doing it, which was really cool. But the opportunity that we saw in merch and selling print-on-demand products as a whole was, way more beneficial and kind of on track with what I wanted to do with my life rather than working for somebody else, whether it was at a screen printing company or wherever. So merch kind of fit our skill set perfectly. I was able to do all the designs. I already knew the t-shirt world very well. So I was able to just continue my passion of making designs for shirts and use that with Amazon's platform. And then Steven was a ginormous help because the only way to get seen on Amazon is actually by using good keywords and knowing where that traffic and those customers are. So that's kind of how we got started. And then, like Steven said, Jenny and Ryan just pushing us into teaching because they saw that we, kind of had a special relationship, the two of us coming from kind of two different worlds, but working perfectly for this platform. And we just love helping people. We love seeing other people have success with what we're teaching. And, hopefully you guys will see when we actually get into this presentation that we've got some, cool things to talk about as far as print on demand goes.
Yeah, I just want to ask, this is being recorded, right?
Yes.
It is.
I'm going to send this to my mother. My brother talking good about me out here.
That's hilarious. We'll just kind of cut that part out, but yeah. Just kidding. Okay, so what we want to do, guys, is have a little bit we have a few slides, not very many, but really want to have a discussion and kind of like a roundtable type of a feel to it, I suppose, as we dig into print on demand and use these 5 benefits as our just to provide some structure. But so I wanted to say that, and then also something that you said triggered this, and I can't remember exactly what it was, but I think Nate, it was you. Maybe not, but one of you said it, that, well, one of the things that I think that how we look differently at print on demand, at KDP, at merch, and even though those two are Amazon platforms, I think we're real passionate about looking at things differently in that we're not interested in working for Amazon. We're interested in making Amazon work for us. And so that's pretty much a foundation and a strategy that I think we're going to be digging into more and more around print on demand, making print on demand work for us as well in that earn as we learn. So let's dig in, and maybe this will make more sense as we do that. Don't want to leave too much mystery. So basically we wanted to define, what is print on demand. And I actually asked these guys, my definition was products printed to order. No, wait, this was a mix of ours, I think. Products printed to order based on your designs. I think mine said graphics or something, but it's products that are printed. Okay, they're printed to order. So they're printed as the order is made based on your designs. So your designs are what are printed on them. Okay. And then this was a little bit more detailed, which Nate, I can't remember. I'm sorry. I don't remember who said what, but one of you guys was going on, and I'm sure you have more to add.
You take credit for it, Jenny. We're not, knows about us.
It's all a blur right now. I'll tell you, it's dinner time. I haven't really eaten much, so we're just going to go. I have a lot of coffee in me right now. So, but basically, I think one of you guys defined it as private label with our designs or with your designs. So that's pretty much what print on demand. It's an ability to be able to create a private label because it is your design. It's a custom product that you create. It's printed after the sale's made. So that's the print to order. And then it's also handled by a warehouse, which I'm sure Nate's super excited about because, of that new job description thing you get to put on your resume of being like the amazing boxer. Anyway, so you don't have to touch the inventory. That's kind of the point there.
And no more tape gun warrior.
No.
Yeah, that sounds like a shirt or something. I don't know. Tape gun warrior. I don't know. All right. So that's what print on demand is. And here is what print on demand is not. And I think that a lot of people I've heard confuse print on demand with drop shipping. Can you guys dig into a little bit why that might be the case? Putting you on the spot.
Yeah, no, I've been traveling a lot and telling people what I've been doing, and a lot of them are like, "Oh, you're just doing like drop shipping." We're like, "No, it's not that at all. We are not using one marketplace to fulfill something else. There's not that stress of is this place, is the place
Right.
that I'm actually buying the product from going to ship it to the people that bought it from me on this other platform." Drop shipping just seems much more confusing, and you're relying on other people and other marketplaces to have the products you need when they might not be there, especially around Christmas as how fast things are moving. If someone messes up and says they have something in stock and they don't, then that just leaves you with a bunch of problems on the table. The reason print on demand is not that is because in the name print on demand, they're actually making the product as it's bought, as to where drop shipping is getting the product when it's bought.
Very good. I like that. I like that. And drop shipping tends to have a negative connotations to it. It's just because there's a lot more risk. And
Yeah.
so don't confuse print on demand with drop shipping. There is not the same kind of risk. But there are great benefits. So we're going to hit 5 of them, and I'm sure we could go on and probably hit more, but these were the 5 that kind of rose to the top. So we talked about this briefly, but the first benefit is that there's no out-of-pocket costs. Literally, there's no out-of-pocket costs. And if you guys have, I've talked a lot about KDP in the private label group. A lot of you have taken the 10 books in 10 days class that I've done with Hallie. A lot of you are involved in merch and know Nate and Steven from that. And all of those are, there's no out-of-pocket costs, which is a super cool benefit because, why, Steven?
No replenishable costs, no additional inventory, no upfront inventory costs. That was the thing that was hurting us. As much as I love to test things out, the private label stuff was kind of killing us because I was always like, okay, we need to keep this plate spinning, but I also want to test all these other things. And you have to keep on making those upfront orders, dealing with a lot of suppliers. Dealing with suppliers is not bad, but when you have 100 of them that you're trying to deal with, it
Right.
just becomes a nightmare. Instead of just, oh, this print-on-demand company can cover all these products. Now I just have to change up the design and sell those, and I want to keep on reordering everything all the time, making sure I'm pretty much juggling my business. It allows me to step back and work on my business instead of in my business. Way easier.
I think it goes back to the earn as we learn too. And what you you have invested a lot in ads. And one of the things we talk about is this PPI method where you've learned a lot. It's not wasted time or money or anything. You've learned a lot, but we talk a lot about PPI, and what that is about in a nutshell is finding a product, getting a few, sending them in, running ads, collecting data based on how people are finding your product and how what keywords are they using to get there. And so you use that data then to optimize your listing or to find new products and what we call golden gaps. Well, what if you could do that without having to buy the product on the front end? Okay. And what if you could do that because you don't have to buy the product without necessarily having to do ads? So you can learn, because you can have, if there's no inventory costs, then there's no ceiling, right? Now, I know with merch, on merch, there is a ceiling. There is not with KDP as far as I know. And there are other t-shirt and we're not just talking about shirts and books, guys. Okay. This is all print on demand. And what are some other products? I mean, I think of like mugs and aprons and, mouse pads and stuff, but there's even more than that. There's,
any product that you could possibly print on, there's probably a print on demand company for that. We will be talking about Redbubble, not tonight, but in the future. And Redbubble has I don't know however many products they have, but we help schools, and the schools always want their, what do they call them, spirit gear?
Yeah, spirit gear.
Yeah, bags, phone cases, just anything that a student could possibly want.
Right. So the value of being able to, since it's a bit of a mind shift, since it doesn't cost you anything, what you're learning from, what if you could get 100 products up and kind of see, like Stephen, you always say you throw a wide net and then see what sticks. Well, that's hard to do when you're limited on money and a budget. And you don't want to take that risk. I mean, even if you're not limited, do you really want to, spread this really wide net? Here, there's no reason not to spread that wide net and see what customers are buying. And then you learn from your customer and create basically an avatar. So the benefit here is that doesn't cost you anything to do that. And that's actually extremely cool. It does cost your time. But there are ways that you can streamline the process.
Yeah,
but
and
there's no monetary investment.
Part of the reason you asked earlier why me and Steve are qualified to talk on print on demand, and I think that's part of it. We've just put in a lot of time into print on demand. So by us putting in the time and sharing what we've found and the systems that we've put in place to help us streamline our time, like those can be instantly applied to your business. There's no, price that's stopping you. It's not like we have this huge budget where we can test all these products. You can do the same thing, just using, our failures basically to teach you lessons and just to listen to what we have learned over all this time that we've put in.
Yeah, I guess that's a bigger part of why when you brought this idea to me, I got really jazzed up, is because the amount of money I was spending on ads to get information and data to make a wiser business decision, because I still do wholesale, private label, and everything else, and trying to test the amount of things that we wanted to test. I spent, especially this Christmas, thousands of dollars and just feel like I'm throwing money at information that I don't fully understand or why Amazon is giving it to me this way. And there's so many variations in that if I go through the product route, the way that we're doing it with books, shirts, and different products, at least I know, okay, the customers are buying this. I can cast way wider of a net than just one product with these keywords, hoping that someone clicks on it and hoping that I gather information from it. I can actually send out a whole bunch of products in a product line and better understand a customer. It's way more cost effective than running a ton of ads.
Let's move on. So Stephen, you talked about this a little bit, about storage fees. No, was that? Yeah. Replenishable. Sorry. Storage fees. We haven't talked about this yet. This is another benefit. There's no storage fees. Okay. Zero, Zippo, nothing, nada, no storage fees. How many of you get a little tired of Amazon storage fees? I mean, they might be okay rates, whatever, but it's still money that you have to take into an investment. You have to take into consideration a cost. You have to overhead costs. You don't have that because it's print on demand. So there's nothing that's being stored. And that's pretty sweet. Do you guys have anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, I think just the wake up of testing a lot of things and then trying to juggle your business. There's always something that you made a bad buy on, and then you forget about it until 6 months passes, and then you get hit with that super large bill, and then you're like, what is going on? How did I get charged with this? And then you look back and you go, I forgot to pull that stuff out of storage.
Yeah.
It just juggling everything the way that I was doing it before, with having a whole bunch of products inside their storage. And all those storage costs do add up. Even when you did books before, the first book had no storage. Now they charge for every item that's in there. The more products that you have, the more storage piles up. The way that we do it, we have thousands of listings and pay nothing on storage each month. That is like mind-boggling.
It's really just like another limitation that you don't have. You don't have to have a huge budget to start listing things. You don't have to worry about, sending things in. There's even lag time with all of that and actually getting things to storage. There's none of that. This is all like that resale information coming back when we're working with wholesalers on stuff. It's like we just don't have to deal with any of that headache anymore. The print-on-demand companies, whether it's Amazon or whoever is fulfilling those orders, they're the one having to handle all the storage and all the headache that goes along with it.
Yep.
I don't know if we touch on this in one of the
bullet points,
but Nathaniel just said something that triggered in my mind is why I made such a hard switch to print on demand. Getting products from suppliers, either from China or locally, it still takes time. So there's a few weeks built in there. And then by the time you ship it into Amazon, create the listings, like that all took, even at our fastest, was still a month-long process. When Nathaniel asked me to help him, and then I was like, okay, let's do these listings. How long is it going to take? And then he showed me that same day that those listings were up. That's when like the my mind shift was like, oh, we should be spending way more time on this because the feedback that I can get is so much quicker. When I'm testing that private label stuff, it takes almost 4 to 6 months
Right.
to get the information I need to make a decision to move forward. But with print on demand, it's almost like overnight, I know if it's going to at least have legs or not to
Right.
continue on going down that path. Or is this niche something that I should be going after? And the way that we're going after and building these product lines, it's very apparent after a few weeks, hey, should I be switching gears here or should I continue to go down this path?
Right. That's excellent. And that is not on our, like I said, we could probably come up with even more. And as we're talking, I know we're adding to this, which is awesome. But that's a really good point. The speed of being able to get from idea to a listing created is huge. In the KDP class that we're teaching, one of the videos I post in there is going from nothing to a book published in about 30 minutes. And I video the process. So that's a pretty big deal, actually, to be able to then get access to data faster. And if you put things out there and they're not giving you they're not working for you, you really haven't lost anything. So
It's a little time and effort, but other than that, you have very little skin in the game.
Yep. Okay. So number 1 was no out-of-pocket costs. We keep coming back to that. These are like the biggest complaints from online sellers. And they kind of just that's why I'm so excited about print on demand, and I'm getting more excited about it because it kind of just crashes through and knocks all those hurdles, really, those headaches, like Nate, you were saying, it just takes them away. So that's good for our health. It's good for our business. It's good for everything, right? So the third one is easy testing, and we've kind of touched on that already, but do you guys remember these?
Yeah, now you make me feel bad now.
Wonderful, Scantron.
I didn't do good in school, so this is bringing up a lot of bad memories.
Bad memories. You don't have to do this Scantron stuff. No, you don't. Well, you don't, but the testing, if you guys have gone through, you don't have to run ads to collect data. You can actually, like we were saying, throw a wide net and kind of see what sticks and learn that way as well without paying for ads. You can pay for ads. We've seen that be a little bit inconsistent with some of the print on demand stuff. So at this point, we're kind of looking for alternatives, and the wide net strategy seems to be working better, giving us better data. So the testing is easy.
This helps a lot of people too, especially when I was doing wholesale and private label. It was like, okay, these products are very similar. I don't know which one I got to do. I got to do more initial upfront research. I know Jenny always talks about where's your trigger. With print on demand, a lot of people come to us and say, okay, what design should I put up? What niche should I go after? I have these 2 things that I'm thinking about. Which one should I do? And our answer is always yes. Like, do both of them. It doesn't take that long to make those listings. It doesn't take that long to kind of gather those keywords and start testing that stuff. And the way that we're trying to teach people is don't just guess. Don't just go, oh, I have this crazy idea, I'm going to throw this out there. There is some validation that you need to do, but test that. After you've done some validation, test it. There's no reason you should stop. In private label, it might be I don't know if the market is ready for this. I don't know if I should jump into this. It looks like it might be a little too competitive. You can test all that stuff because it really only takes a little bit of time and effort to put something there to see if it'll work or not. You'll be able to tell in a few weeks if it was worth your time or not.
Yeah, and these bullet points are really just building on top of each other. I mean, the reason we can test so easily is because there is no upfront cost for anything that we're doing. And there's no storage fee for anything we're doing. So with those 2 limitations gone, like just yes is always our answer.
I know, but you know what?
Which one of these things should I do? Both.
Yes.
Right. But it's a huge mind shift. It's a really big mind shift. And, I worked with people and they have thousands of books up, and they're seeing sales, but not, what they want to see more. And I'm like, okay, in a short amount of time, you've gotten over 1,000 books up. I mean, like we're talking a month or 2. So you're doing something, look at what's working. You're doing something right. And you are getting some good sales. It's not what you want to see, but why are those selling? Look deeper at that and do more of that. And all you want, and the other thing I say is once you've done, this isn't on here. Well, it sort of is. Actually, it might be our next point. Let's go to the next one. Once you have done this and put up, now like my thing's KDP, once you have put a book up, you never, ever, ever have to create that again. You never have to put the time in there again. It is replenishable without replenishing. You don't have to go find the product at the store again. You don't have to go place an order and ship it in. You don't have to do any of that. Once it's up, you never have to do anything with it again with print on demand. That listing can stay up and it just continues to fulfill itself. So the amount of work that you're putting on, whatever is working there, look and see what's working more. You know, why is this working? Do more of that, because there's clearly something going on that's right. And then recognize that the time that you've put in, even for the ones that aren't working, that's still valuable. It's valuable data. You know what doesn't work just as much as you know it does work. That's good information. And you have not invested a single penny. Sure, you've put your time into it, but that time it's not an equal ratio to the number of sales per month, because your time, I don't even know how to word this because I'm not a math person, but that amount of time doesn't change. It's static, whereas the sales will change, right? So you'll continue to get sales every month, but you aren't putting any more time into those products.
Yeah, we say that print on demand is just a compounding business for that exact reason. There's no, reason that once a shirt sells, you should take it down or have to remove it or have to worry about it really ever again. I mean, we're in January, so at the beginning of this month, I just pulled all of our sales from last year, and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot I made this design, or yeah, I forgot listing these shirts. There's so many designs that we've had up there for almost 3 years now that just continue to sell for us almost weekly.
Mm-hmm.
And we keep finding more of those. It's not like we have to go back to that one and make sure everything's good, or find a supplier who can, has a lower price so we can increase profits. Like, we don't have a lot of those headaches. We just keep moving forward and keep compounding on all of the knowledge that we have and all of the listings and sales that we're having.
Yeah, I want to take a step back. And when we were doing OA and RA, all the research and stuff that we're doing, we would love those products that as soon as we get them and send them in, they sell like hotcakes. But eventually those are going to run out and you're not going to be able to find them again. You might be able to try to turn it into a private label product, but it's a lot of work to do that. With the way that we're doing our business, like how this says replenishables without replenishables, I have books that I tested the very first time Jenny told me about KDP that are still up and that are still selling. They were not good. I was just trying to understand what she was talking about.
Before I started helping with it.
Yeah. She said I could write a book. I said, I dropped out of high school. I don't think so. But she showed me how easy it was. And then I was like, okay, let's see if we can do that. And then I started playing around with it and just started putting some books up. I did a lot of research, probably way more than I needed to. But now after, like Nathaniel said, we take off all our failures and all our experience to help speed you up. I put a lot of time into research and put a few books up, and those books still sell. Like Nathaniel said, he pulled all the research for the shirts that we did. I pulled all the books that we've done over the last, I don't even know how long now. And then I'm always surprised at like, oh yeah, that was the very first book I put up when Jenny was telling me I could do something. And I took a passion of mine and found a way to be able to do it, no content, and just put that book up and then start having success. And it's still selling. It doesn't make a ton of money, but like Jenny said, it's that one time putting your time in, and then you just let it continue to ride and then compound on that business. I don't think you can just put one book up and then that's your business and then cash out. I think you need to keep working at it, but it does compound. It does grow once you put more time into it.
Yep. Love it. Okay. So no out-of-pocket costs, no storage fees, easy testing, replenishable without testing. It really does sound too good to be true. And I hate having those kinds of, I don't like presenting those kinds of opportunities, I guess, because we all know if it sounds too good to be true, then it probably is. But keep in mind,
time. I'm not gonna lie, it does take time and effort.
Yeah.
And it is a mind shift. But once you figure it out, I think just like anything, we just had a fire in the back and my wife was starting the fire and just telling her like how easy it is with a match. And I think that's what we're trying to do is like, we want to set the plate to make everything as easy as possible. All you need to do is strike it, put the energy and effort into it, and then let that business grow. But yeah, it does sound too good to be true. Even when Daniel told me he was having sales, I was like, what are you talking about? What did you do? Like you just sat in front of the computer with nothing and put something up and the next day it's sold? Like,
yeah.
I don't believe this.
There is work.
What kind of black magic is this? I've been selling online for a long time, but this is not how it works.
But okay, the work comes into learning the strategy, and the work comes into learning how to validate properly, and the work comes into creating the design that you're going to put on the product. The work comes into, setting up your KDP or merch account or whatever, wherever else you're going to go. There is work that goes into it. And it isn't, like you said, get one product up and you are set for life, unless you have like the most amazing gatekeeper ever who has the huge audience, but then, and they're going to continue to buy this product. I mean, that's too good to be true. I think, that's going to be a rare thing, but, this is, most of you are already selling online. And so you understand the work and the headache and all of that goes into that. And it's just another strategy. It's another revenue stream to add that is very easy to do and to add. So the fifth thing was low cost of entry for quick business building. And I think I was supposed to put a graphic here and did not. So we're going to imagine that there's a rocket just like shooting up, or I really liked your analogy of a match, So we're just going to like picture that there, and you can picture Nate and Steven in the little window of the rocket waving. No, you guys should be in the rocket. We want to launch you and what you're doing. But do you want to expand on this a little bit? Just this idea of this low cost entry, no cost entry. I mean, you might outsource graphics, or you might outsource something, so there could be some costs involved. But why is this a quick business building strategy when we're saying, we're talking about making this work for you, not you working for it, right? So how can this be a quick business building strategy?
I think it's a step back and focusing on the actual business. Me and Nathaniel and my mother and my wife had a successful reselling business, but we were the ones constantly working on it.
Right.
It is a no cost of entry to get in, to start making listings and putting listings up, but we want to help you guys grow a business. To have somebody hired to do art does not cost that much money. To hire somebody to do research is not that much money. It is a low cost, and it should be building. When you start hitting certain levels and you start making that amount of money, it's a very low cost way to run and build a business, because you can outsource a lot of the work to other people and then have an actual business. I wouldn't say, even now looking back at it, I didn't have a successful reselling business. I had a successful reselling job that we were constantly working at. Now we have a business. Most of the day-to-day print-on-demand business is handled by teams other than ourselves. I mean, we still manage the business and direct it, but a lot of our time now goes into other businesses, other relationships, other partnerships. Like Jenny said, if you reach out to, you didn't say influencers, so you said gatekeeper. If you work out with gatekeepers and they have an audience, it's much easier to build a business that way. A lot of people, when they start with merch, the problem is you're at tier 10. A great way to tier up out of that first is to start doing some of those partnerships. We work with a lot of churches. Do the shirts at cost. Let them buy those shirts for, it's probably gone up a little bit now to like $14, yeah. And just let them buy it at cost. If you do one mission trip, if you do any little small group, there's always a gap between people that are doing local screen printing and what you can offer. And if you do it at a low cost, that's a great way to tier up. Mm-hmm. But I just want to stress the business part of it. Doing this, compounding, understanding, building a system, and then being able to hand that off. I don't know of another way or a lower cost way of actually growing a business than print on demand.
Yep. And I wasn't listening because
Jenny on the 11th hour pulling it off.
You know me. Okay, so I might repeat a little bit of what you were saying, but probably not, because you explained this really well, which is why I'm glad you were the one to explain it. But this is a Launchpad in that, we've throughout tonight, we've talked about throwing this wide net. We've broken down the barriers, why you'd be able to. There's nothing holding you back. There's no money that holds you back. There's no storage fees that hold you back. There's the replenishable. There's, all of the testing's easy. Throw that wide net, get a bunch of products out there, and then collect that data and allow that to be a foundation for what you're going to pursue. So you might have said this. Am I repeating what you said? Yeah.
No.
Okay.
I don't think
just saying it different.
You're reiterating what I'm saying, but you're using the whole, what we just talked about. I kind of went off on a left.
Okay.
A little bit on a tangent.
Okay. So, but then what you can do, it's a great way to test ideas for like private label, or mostly for private label. So if you end up having, you see something that a trend in the data that you're collecting with inside of a niche, then you can expand on that. So looking back and seeing what's selling, why is this selling, and further testing and refining, then eventually you might get to a point where you are willing to invest because you're proving an idea out, and not just an idea, but design. You're proving something out that's connecting with a customer base within a niche, and you're building a customer avatar that is consistently responding to what you're presenting and offering. So that gives you more confirmation. It's another way to test. So in the private label, we talk about this 5-step test for validation. Love it. It's totally, and a lot of that is overlapped into some of how we do validation for POD, but it's a little bit different. But the idea is that you'll be able to get more confirmation without having to put money into ads to be able to move forward with a private label or whatever you want to do. Information, maybe you want to do a course, or whatever you want to do. It gives you more confirmation to be able to invest money for a larger or for another direction based on the information, the data that you've collected. So it's that earn as we learn. So along that process too, you are making money because these things are selling. So you're not
Say it again.
The data.
I said, say it again.
Yep. What did I say? Because I don't remember now.
You're making money.
Yeah.
Unlike the running all the PPC ads that I just spent thousands of dollars on, just the print on demand business, we're getting a ton of information and we're earning as we're learning.
Amar, the POD just clothing is coming to mind. Okay, no, POD is, so KDP is books. Okay, and what we talk a lot about is low content, no content books, which are things like journals, workbooks, cookbooks. They're books that are nonfiction, mostly a do-it-yourself or a self-help, like a check. I'm trying to think of ideas. A log or a diary, track anything that you're tracking. They're books that are not a story that's written out that takes a long time to write. A prompt journal. Journals are really, really big. So the class that Hallie and I teach, we just get you through the process to learn how to do KDP, and we use journals. We talk about doing journals. But so that's one. T-shirts is clothing. That's true. What are some others? So aprons are kind
of anything you can think of. There's like a print on demand, or like water bottles. There's
backpacks.
Well, all of the promotional products, like anything that's a promotional product, those aren't, when you're looking at promo companies, those are not print on demand because you are placing an order, but they are custom products. So anything that can be customized or printed on, there's going to be a print on demand option for jewelry, placemats, mouse pads, which nobody really uses anymore. Probably even like thumb drives. I'm just looking around my office, like what else? Pens, glasses, candles, all kinds of things. So,
and I think the way that the market is set up, more things are going to be printed on demand.
Agree.
I mean, 3D printing was huge a little while ago. It's not going anywhere. It's only getting better and faster. More companies are offering bigger things that you wouldn't even expect to be printed on demand. There's a bike company now that's their big thing, is they print the bike as it sells. I'm sure there's bearings and other things that they got housed, but the majority of the bike is printed. It's just the wave of the future. That's how, I don't think every business is going to be like that, but a large portion of the business. Even the way that there are companies out there printing houses on the spot. They'll take the materials and then are able to print them out. Probably in a development stage, but they have ideas for that stuff. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, the way technology is moving, it's just helping us more and more with this print on demand business. Even inside, I think it was Carla was asking or saying that she doesn't know how to design anything. Well,
no problem.
Yeah, thanks to technology advancements, now there's free programs out there that make designing super easy, even if you can't put anything together. Steven has never used a proper design platform or program.
And I've made shirts.
and now he can
And I
make
understand
shirts.
color matching because it tells me exactly how to do it.
Right. Like, so there's a lot of tools now put in place to just help us.
So you've done graphic design, you've done books now, like things you never ever thought you would ever do.
I should call all those teachers that gave me an F and tell them.
Send them a book.
You'd amount to nothing. You don't know. I'm out here in these streets making everything.
That's funny. You know what, Robert, you bring up a good point. So pop sockets, there's a lot of examples here in the Facebook comments. I'll read them off because not everybody's in the Facebook group, but pop sockets, cups, mobile phone covers, pens. So the pop sockets, though, Robert says he can't believe anybody paid money for them. That's why I doubt my own vision. They have paid money for them, and absolutely. And okay, as far as
you are not your customer. That's probably the
exactly. You are not your customer.
Guys, if you get nothing out of this, you are not your customer. The things that I would purchase are not the majority of things that we're selling. Nathaniel made a black on black shirt that I told him to his face, this is never going to sell. You don't know what you're doing. That's one of our best selling consistent shirts. So I've eaten a lot of humble pie in this business. And that's why we say test. We don't know. We are experienced, but we are by far no experts to understand this market. Every niche is different. Every sub niche is different. All the customers are different. I do not understand the customers at all. I had told the story in our group. My wife was buying apples for Nathaniel, essentially, but for a house. And I was asking other people around because she sent me to go buy the apples. And I was like, okay, what type of apples? Crunchy, crisp. Okay. She came over, just picked up a bag. I got home and Nathaniel asked her, oh, I see you got the apples. And she's like, yeah, I got them because they were small and cute. I was like, I would have
Why
never
would you buy apples?
because they were small and cute. That's not even a customer. I kind of understand, but
you can't filter by that.
But you understand they buy apples. They buy small apples. Is cute the word that you should use? It's just mind-boggling. But with print on demand, you're allowed to, or you're capable of testing all that stuff to see what works best.
Yeah. Okay. I need to go back here.
I like this format when you just throw out bullet points that I can just go off on a tangent. This is the best for me.
And I can keep
the hardest thing for us is when we make slides, I have to like stick to it.
Oh, that's no fun.
Bullet points allow me to talk. This is by far the
best. I can keep you in line though by just going to the next slide. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, but it's freedom. I could just talk on whenever I want.
Well, that's what I was hoping, to just kind of have some discussion and kind of more on the fly. I mean, we went over these 5. We kind of brainstormed, okay, these are the top 5 that we should probably hit. And then let's just get on and talk about it. And that's really what we're doing. So just in review, guys, this is just super cool. No out-of-pocket costs, no storage fees, easy testing, replenishable without replenishing, which I think is super, super, super cool. And then low-cost entry for quick business building. So you can take what you're learning, earn as you learn, you can make money for it. So it's not just low-cost entry. You might even come out on the positive side, right? And you probably will. So it's just a really cool strategy. If you haven't looked into print on demand, I highly recommend it. If you're an Amazon seller, merch, KDP are easy entry points, I think. But there's all kinds of options out there as far as a source for it. And we wanted to talk a little bit more about strategy and why to even consider it. So we have a program that we're going to be doing where we're going to be walking people through coming out with 100 products in 6 weeks. And I wanted to tell you guys about it. If print on demand is something that resonates with you, and you are like, yes, I want products that I don't have to go find and buy and send in, and I'm done with the storage fees, or I still want to do this, but this is kind of cool because I can set it up and then kind of let it go and use it to help my other revenue streams. If you're doing private label, you can use print on demand, like we were talking about, to help learn more about your customers and what they're looking for, to offer them, to serve them better, to offer them better products that they're more interested in. So if this is something that you're interested in, we are going to be doing 100 products in 6 weeks. So by the end of the 6 weeks, if you follow along the training, you will have 100 products added to your inventory, and the products will not cost you anything, okay? The training will, so, but the products won't. But we tried really hard. This is 6 weeks of training. It's going to be kind of intense. The 3 of us are going to be doing it. We're going to be going through from KDP merch to other sources, Etsy, other sources, but the idea is really strategy and helping you understand how to use print on demand, how to use these 100 products to lay a foundation so that you can have a launch pad to grow from. So that's really the whole idea behind this 100 products in 6 weeks. You can learn more about it at jennyhunt.com/106, but do not buy it from that website because you'll pay too much. Okay. So, but go and you can learn more about it there. You can ask questions. We'll answer them. I see there's a couple in the Q&A, but I wanted to, I'm trying to think if I'm missing anything. Don't buy it from there because it's $50 more than you need to pay. We're going to post a coupon code in the comments. Can one of you guys do that? In the comments on Facebook for $50 off. And then on the Zoom, we'll also post we'll give you a coupon code as well for $50 off. So don't just buy it straight from that page. You can enter a coupon on that page. Just make sure you use the coupon. Maybe I shouldn't have said anything, Mike. No, we just want to, anyway, so it ends up dropping the price down to $197 for getting 100 products up. Now, guys, breaking this down, we were talking about this and it's like, you know what? Okay, if you could get inventory for $10 an item and have it replenish itself and never have to buy it again, would that be worth the investment? And knowing that you would be learning from it and it would be testing, that's really, if you were paying $10 a product, that would be $1,000 for this course. Okay. At $200, you're paying basically less than $2 a product for having products up that will always be there unless you take them down. But so it's you do the work once, you glean from it, and it can generate revenue for you over and over again without you having to continue to put stuff in. Okay. Yeah, I see that, Mike. Will this work in the UK, guys?
What were you asking, Jenny? Sorry.
Will this work in the UK? I'm like, yes, I think you can do this from anywhere as long as you can sell on the platform, right?
Yes.
So okay. It'd be better probably if you answered that one than me.
Yes, I'm selling books in China. I didn't even know. It's kind of weird too, because some of the shirts that we have gotten ported over too. There's a local festival in Houston that we're selling quite a bit of those shirts in Germany. There's always some weird crossovers. Again, I don't understand the customers. I just work here. But we are selling a lot of products that are made for the US market in other markets. We do make products for specific other markets, but even the crossover, we don't fully understand and are having sales in places that we didn't expect to have sales.
Yeah, and I would say you have a huge leg up on us trying to sell in the UK because you actually understand the culture over there.
I'm sure there's sayings,
words,
exactly.
The different sayings we have, we have some success over there, but we've talked to people who understand UK culture over in Germany that actually, can speak and write German, which is better than us going to Google Translate and trying to make that work.
Listing, yeah.
Yeah, like you have a leg up on the competition of people's in US trying to sell over there. So, I would even look at that as a positive of where you're somewhere else. There's, more opportunity, I guess, and less competition is really what it is.
Answering questions. Okay, there are some really good ones in the chat here. Let me go back up. I think you addressed Carla with the design. Are you talking about Amazon for print on demand or other platforms? So in the 6 weeks, we're going to specifically get into KDP. That's a really great place to start, and merch or t-shirts. So it'll be focused on using Amazon for data collection, for validation on the front end before we submit designs and get products. And then move into Etsy and then other platforms. Do we want to talk about that at all?
There are a lot of
Yeah.
other platforms.
We use Amazon because, I mean, it's no secret that Amazon is the king of, organic
Organic,
search traffic. When people
yes.
go to Amazon, that's where they're looking to purchase. We love getting that data back from Amazon, but it's not the only place that you can sell products. But any research that we do on Amazon is usually going to hold up wherever else you're going, because that is the biggest search engine for people looking to buy online.
Mhm.
And you do not have to have a merch account. We will be catering a lot of this to merch, but the same research we use for other t-shirt platforms. Because like Nathaniel said, it's all the organic traffic. We are trying to find where the customers are at and what they're looking for. Amazon is a place our customers go to actually purchase. They're doing research there to purchase. That's why we spend a lot of our time just, I guess, farming Amazon to better understand the market. And then we use a lot of other platforms.
Yeah, there's some great questions. So I want to address this. Can you please tell about the kind of products created using your course? You talked about a lot of products. Can you give more specifics, please? I want to talk about the process, and we'll actually, as soon as we're done here, we're going to be opening up the private Facebook group that comes with the 100 products in 6 weeks. And we're going to go in there and go live and talk about what you can expect and really kind of go into deeper about the type of training we're going to do. But we'll tell you what we can here too. I wanted to say we're going to, and you were also in the KDP course that Hallie and I did. So the KDP 10 books in 10 days was really about, this is how you do books. We're going to dig in deeper and talk about, okay, we'll start there, but now what can you do with what you've learned? And what can you do? How can you collect data from getting books up and use that data then, these designs are selling, so then let's move those and let's go into t-shirts and validate these ideas further for shirts. And then, okay, now let's move on and go into other products. So basically, in fact, I didn't say this, what we want to do is get you, so you're building out a product line. So it isn't just books, it isn't just shirts, it isn't just mugs. You're going to build out a product line based on the customer data that you are receiving from the products that you are listing. Am I wording that well?
Yes. We're not just showing you how to get 100 products up.
Right.
I'm sure if you took the 10 books in 10 days, you can go, oh, I know how to make 100 books now from this information. It's more, we want to have an end goal so that people come in knowing kind of what they're going to be getting out of this. But we're going to show you, like Jenny said, a process. How do you take this KDP information, make these books, and then take this knowledge and continue to move forward so you have that product line so that you're building an avatar, you're getting a lot of data back. It's more than just the amount of products you're getting. It's how you're doing it and how you're building on top of it.
Right. So you might end up starting where you're going into like not pet products, but pet lovers, like dog lovers or cat lovers or something, and getting really tight into that niche. You've built out a product line of print on demand products. And then you might go, I see that my customer base, I think they would really like this design. I could do a private label product line of pet items like brushes or toys or whatever, and get into private label. And there might be some overlap even between what you can provide from a print on demand service and another, like getting how we teach private label in the proven private label class course with working with wholesalers. So there might be some overlap there, but that can lead into private label product ideas. You will have strong validation on that front end because you have built out that customer avatar and proven it.
Yeah, we do a lot of upfront data on Amazon, but then we use other print on demands to get actual customer information so that we can start building our own customers. It's almost impossible on Amazon to do that. Jenny has some really clever ways that she does it. I'm not going to give away those here, but you can build customers from a lot of strategies, and we want to be able to show you that too, so you're not dependent on Amazon. We want to give you multiple income streams and then give you a business that you can grow that's not dependent on Amazon's whim. If one day they decide they don't want to do pop sockets and your business is all pop sockets, you might have just gone out of business.
Yeah, and I think you guys are both hinting at it, but neither of you are saying how impactful it is to use similar research for books and t-shirts and all these other products. It's not like you have to start over completely. A lot of the information that we're going to be giving builds on top of each other. So once you understand this print on demand platform and how to find the customers for this platform, we're taking that same information and applying it somewhere else, not just completely starting over when we want to sell a new product.
Yeah. Okay. You guys have some great questions. Is this the same as KDP? Okay, we kind of hit on that, but I wanted to say, because if you guys have been in the 10 books in 10 days, you've learned how to use Amazon's KDP, which is Kindle Direct Publishing. It's just their platform for self-publishing, and it's hard copy, paperback books. In that is print on demand. It's the same kind of thing. You list it on Amazon, they take care of the rest. Yes, that is print on demand. So the programs that people are asking, is there software required? I think everything that we're going to teach you can do for free. So KDP is a free account. Merch is a free account. It's a little bit a barrier sometimes to get into. So we're not going to require, you don't have to have a merch account. You can still we're going to work around that as well, even though, you want to say something about that? I saw you muted. So I didn't know if you were like talking amongst yourselves or not.
Well, no, I was just, you asked us to put the links in there, and I was just trying to see if we got
I already did it, but that's fine. So you had said this already, Stephen, that, if you don't have a merch account, if you're having trouble with a merch account, merch limits how many you can get up, but you can still use the tools that's not going to be the whole focus of the 6 weeks at all. And what will be taught will be able to be used with merch or on other platforms. So we will be giving talking about other platforms that you can use where there isn't a cost.
Yeah, I think Jenny has this course set up very clever, where we start with KDP because anybody should be able to get a KDP account. There is no real restraints or anything, and a lot of the information that you can use there can stack, and it's a very simple way to kind of get your feet wet in the print-on-demand space. Mm-hmm. Then moving up to t-shirts, we are mostly going to be doing kind of merch, but it doesn't have to solely be merch. It's just going to be t-shirt teaching, and we're going to go on top of that to another platform, Etsy, I guess I'll say it in here, that has a lot more products instead of just books or t-shirts. They give you kind of a product line kind of built in, and then stacking all the information that you're learning and being able to apply that knowledge moving forward.
You guys have great questions. And one of them is, when is this starting? Starts February 4th. The coupon codes that I've put in, and I will put them in the original post, so you don't have to scroll through if you're watching this on the replay. And they will be included in the email for the replay for the webinar for those that are on the actual webinar. But I wanted to say that coupon expires February 5th. So you want to get in on the 4th. That's when we're going to start the training. Okay. And we're going to go for 6 weeks. We haven't really talked about this, but I think after the 6 weeks, the plan is that the group will be closing, and you guys will still continue to have access in one way or another with the training. So here's how the training is going to work. It's going to be very similar if you've done the KDP class with Hallie and I, where some things will be Facebook Live, some things will be live webinars, some will be pre-recorded videos that we're sharing, some will be templates, some will be lists of landing pages or keyword results, that keywords that are validated, or something along those lines. So it's not all going to be live training every day for 6 weeks. We're going to have a focus. We have 6 modules we're going to get through. And we're going to, when we go live in the Facebook group for it, we'll dig into those a little bit more. So we're going to go through 6 different modules, and there will be training that is needed to get you through that content. And then the Facebook group will be available to post any questions. We'll be having homework assignments. We will do what we can. We are all about, and we talked about this yesterday, I think, guys, when we were kind of planning this a little bit more. We are all about taking action. And I've learned a lot since offering the 10 books in 10 days with Hallie. We've had 500 students go through that already. And what I've learned a lot about how to help people take action. We are passionate about helping people. And the thing is when we provide content that we know can be just change your business or change your life even, we want to share that. And it's frustrating when people don't take action. And I know things come up, and people, family stuff, things that are really important. And so I don't want to put any of that down by any means, but I also know that we often, I know I'm guilty of it, and I know a lot of people are too. So I'm not trying to just point the finger anywhere, because I sit there too. But I buy things because I'm excited about them. And then I think, yes, this is the direction I want to go. And it is, but then I get distracted and busy with something else and I never even open it. So we are all about taking action. This is going to be to push you to take action. Wendy, this isn't all about t-shirts at all. We kind of went over a few things probably about 10 minutes in or 10 minutes ago. So if you probably want to watch the replay and just kind of go back a little bit, but we're talking a wide variety of POD, print on demand products. So starting with books, but we kind of went into that a lot. So make sure you watch it because I think you'll enjoy what we've dug into. Okay.
Andrew's asking a good question of, are there any is there any programs included and who is handling the shipping of the products? So as far as programs, we are using a few different programs, but all of them are free to sign up for. The only one that you might have any hangups with is actually getting a merch account, which if you don't have a merch account, that is not a problem. We will be showing you other platforms that you can sell on, but who is shipping the products is the warehouses. So like we talked about kind of in the beginning of, what is print on demand, the warehouse is not only printing the items, but they're actually shipping them as well. So you don't have to worry about, calculating shipping costs, figuring out, should I charge more to cover the shipping? All of that is already included in your prices. So that is, another reason why we love print on demand.
Yeah, I'm answering more questions. Stephen, I love your question. Is this for me if I have no interest in merch? I would say if you're not interested in doing t-shirts, fine. You don't need, that, and maybe it's not merch. Maybe it's only merch that you're not interested in. And Nate just kind of addressed that there's going to be other platforms that will be addressed if you're not doing merch. But I think that if you don't want to do that module, you're not interested in that, I still think the overall strategy that we're teaching, you've already done the KDP stuff. So it's basically the next step. Like, okay, now you know how to do the books. You're not going to get stuck there with the books. If you've never done KDP, we'll touch on that too. We'll get you through that process quickly. But if you've already done that, it's really kind of up in your game with that and learning how can I use the data that I'm getting. And then if the next step would be merch and how we're teaching it, but that doesn't mean you have to go there and do shirts. You can go into we're going to go way beyond shirts. So, okay. Will there be software helping on designing? Never used PicMonkey or Canva or Photoshop? Nate?
That's what I love to do. I've talked about this in a lot of different places, but I love taking, this magical land of graphic design and simplifying it.
So
and showing
anybody can do it.
Yeah, it's not that scary. It's not as scary as you think it is. You don't have to have a degree in graphic design. You don't have to know, design rules or anything like that. If you want to dig into that, I'm more than happy to talk about that stuff. But our passion and what we like to do is systemize things so that they can be done consistently without you having to stress over any one part of this, getting shirts live or getting products live or whatever we're working on. So you don't have to know how to use Photoshop. You don't have to know how to use PicMonkey. We're going to show you another program that really simplifies things and still allows you to make competitive designs. And
if Stephen can use it, anybody can.
Yeah, I think we should have addressed that. I'm very excited for this teaching because of the level of expertise that each one of us brings. I love data. I know Jenny loves it just as much as me. That's a joke in case everybody does. No. But I've been building my business all around data and analytics, and that's what I bring to the table. I think that's why our merch business works so well, because Nathaniel is the second half of the merch business, which is the design. Nathaniel's been doing designs for well over 15 years and professionally for 10, and it's been working outside the t-shirt company or outside the t-shirt marketplace, but that's where he specializes because he's worked for actual screen printers. He's been in the actual merch or t-shirt business. So that's what we bring to the table. There's a lot of stuff that we add outside of merch and t-shirts, so I don't want you guys to get stuck up on that. But right. Jenny, especially with the books and everything else that she brings and the clever marketing that she's bringing to this, we're really giving you the trifecta of a business and being able to run a business. I don't think there's any question that anybody in this group would be able to have that one of us wouldn't be able to answer.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Okay, we should wrap this up, but I do want to make sure we get the questions. There was, what kind of margins on these products? I want to address that. And if you guys want to jump in, go ahead. But Okay, first of all, I want to remind there's a mind shift. So there's no monetary investment. Now, when you're flipping products with RA, OA, or even doing private label, you are searching for products to sell. And so there's time involved as well, plus the monetary investment to buy the products to send them in. You don't have that. So the margins really depend on the type of product that you're selling and your customer base, your niche. So it's a hard one to answer. I don't even know really how to answer that.
I don't think margins is usually like even the word that we use to describe, what we're doing, because it's not, like you said, there is no upfront investment. So it's not like, we're paying for a product and then whatever we have to worry
Right.
about covering that cost and whatever we're selling it in.
Yeah, I think it's almost like a licensing business. You don't ask how much margin is in the licensing business, but it is a odd question to ask, because even if you go, we'll teach you how to sell on Amazon, what are the margins in that? Like, every product is so wildly different.
Right.
Like, I don't think it's an answerable question, but I think what Nathaniel was touching on is we don't sell anything at 10 cents. But if we did, and that was our business and everything was sold at 10 cents, and we say, okay, even our conversion rates are 5%, it would be, okay, at a certain level, if we can make 100 products, then we just multiply that out. If we can do 100 products every day for 365 days, then you can do the math. Is that worth your time? I would say that we should be able to get you higher conversions, and we should be able to get you more than 10 cents per item. But it's just, that's the way to think about it. We're scaling a business, and that's just a piece of our business. That's just the understanding so that we can start growing businesses. We have separate businesses now that we go after the niches that have been successful for us through this process of building this product line. We have I'm not going to say the companies that we have or the businesses that we have, but we're going after brands now. We're building businesses after this initial step of research.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's kind of what this is. This is just a research phase that we're getting paid for, is essentially
Mm-hmm.
how we use it in our business.
So I will say, just to give you some numbers, because it can be frustrating if you're not understanding this to not have some numbers. So KDP, this is how this works, and this is how print on demand works. Okay. So you come up with your interior pages and your covers. You upload that information onto your KDP dashboard. You title your book and all of that, and then you publish it. And like I said, once you've gone through that process and you have it nailed down, I can get a book up in 30 minutes. Okay. It's not a really long, doesn't have to be a long process, because we're talking about not books that you're writing. We're talking about books that are like journals or a workbook or a log. They're low content or no content books. So 100 pages, 6x9, glossy. They're regular looking books. You know, most people cannot tell the difference. In fact, I kind of can, because I know the templates that people are using, but that's really probably the only way that I know if something, or I have a hunch that something might be a KDP book. There's no real difference in quality. Okay. So at 100 pages, a 6x9 book, Amazon says the price has to be at $3.58. This is for black and white interior pages, color cover. Okay. $3.58. That's my minimum price that I can list it for. So I recommend that people go lower on where they list it to start, so that they can try to get some sales, because that will help their ranking. So then slowly raise up the price as they start to move. But you list that at $9.99 or $10, and you're making almost $6.50 a sale. Okay. But it really depends on what the interior pages are, what the market is that you're reaching, what, a teen book or journal is going to be, they're probably not going to pay as much. Like has a cheaper feel to it, and it's probably a lower priced product than one that's for a more like a fitness journal. Okay. So really they could be the same interiors even. It just really depends on your margin, not your margin, on your customer and your niche. So it is a hard question to answer, but I did want to give you just kind of with books, 100-page interior pages, color cover. Amazon says $3.58, and then anything over that, when the book sells, they give you the difference. They take $3.58 and they send you the rest of it. Okay. You set the price. So the margin, it could change depending on, you set the price. Okay. There were a couple others, and then I think we're going to call it, how different is what you guys are offering I am in Millionaire Sellers, Danny's group, and somebody else had said something, and does this, can this work with that too? And I'm going to say, and you guys can chime in on this a little bit, that this is a strategy. It's strategy that will help you use Millionaire Seller. So this isn't about KDP and about merch and about Etsy or specific print on demand or other specific platforms. We are using them as tools, but what you will learn is that what we're teaching you can be applied to different tools. And so Millionaire Seller, applying the strategy with what you're have with Millionaire Seller would be a good fit. Am I right on that? Since I'm
yes.
not, okay. Okay, any other questions? Oops. Play. Okay, we start February 4th. Immediately after this, we're going to jump into Facebook Live. We'll approve people who have ordered. I know that there's some people already waiting to get in. And we'll go in there and do a live just to kind of go over the modules and explain what you can expect. But we do start on the 4th. I'll put the coupon codes again in the chat and the comments real quick, and then I will have that with the email. And then if you have any questions, I did that wrong. No, I didn't. Sorry, I'm trying to multitask. It's not working. One of you guys talk. There we go. Okay, too many windows open. All right, we're going to go right over into the other group. Sorry, we're going to approve people. So if you, let me stop the share there. We're going to approve people. If you have signed up, you should have gotten an email with the link to the private Facebook group with an access code. Enter that access code and we can approve you a whole lot faster. If you're having trouble, shoot me off a message and I'll get you in and we'll figure out what's going on. But we're going to go over there and go live. If you missed that, it will be available via replay. This will be available through replay immediately in the private label mentoring Facebook group. If you're on the webinar, we will email it as soon as it's available. So give me 24 hours. It might be sooner, but I'm thinking it takes a little bit of time. So I think that, can I send it? Sue, yes. Sorry, you sent that to just panelists. You're asking a question. Can you shoot me off a message and we can talk about how that would work? So I think we're good. Any questions? We're happy to help. So thank you guys. This was kind of fun to hang out and share kind of what we've been talking about this for a while. Oh, should we talk about our plans for May at all?
That's a you call.
Yeah, that's a completely on you. Nathaniel, if you even mention it, Nathaniel will jump off and talk about it for another.
You guys want to hear this? Okay, so here's our plan.
Life.
I love it. Here's our plan. Okay, so there's this class, and this will take us through. We start in early February, so it'll take us through middle of March, and then we're thinking in May. We're still buttoning up the details. There's a lot of details to button up. But one of the things that actually where this kind of started was we want to be able to do live workshops together, and we're going to kind of go on a tour. We're looking to hit 3 or 4 locations, depending on where you guys are located. And what we want to do is kind of be able to dig deeper into this. And again, we're all about helping you take action. So it would be like a workshop where you would bring your computer and you would walk away with things done. Okay, that's what we're looking to do. If you are in and you sign up and you get into the 100 products in 6 weeks, there is a significant discount for these live workshops that we're going to do. Plus, you will have priority. We're going to try to make them so that they are in areas where most of you guys are. So,
Orlando, that's right next to us.
That's right next to them. We might go all the way across the country if there's enough demand for it. Our family loves a good road trip. We went, I don't know, we just do. That's what we do. And I know Nate likes to go off, so we're pulling Stephen along. So anyway, the locations are to be determined based on the people that are in the group, I think we'll try to hit as close as we can to people in the group first. You will have a discount, a significant discount to these workshops, where it will be going over the same kind of content, but live and able to really continue to build. If you've done the 100 products, we'll build on that. If you're stuck and you've got 50 and you're kind of struggling through, we'll help you move forward, and it'll be live. There's nothing like that, like sitting and being live with people. And really, you guys know, if you've been to CES or anything, it just makes a world of difference. What you can accomplish in a live like Zoom call is great, but it's nothing compared to what you can accomplish when you're sitting down at a table together. So that's what we're looking to do. Tammy, yes, I'm hoping Colorado's on that list. So anyway, wanted to throw that out there. We don't have all the details, but and if you don't sign up, we're hoping to be able to offer that beyond. Depends on the size of the venues that we get, and all of that. So we will be looking for people to host at the venue who are local, but a lot of the details still need to come into place. We're looking to do that in May. Will info from the course still be available? After the 6 weeks, I'm going to just make an executive decision here, even though I'm not really the executive, but I think what we've done with the 10 books in 10 days has been really good. The group will close down after 6 weeks. This is the plan. This could change, but I would count on it closing down, but you will still have access to the training. So what we do in our classes, we give a PDF that has links to all the videos and the training, so you still have access to that. The classes are not necessarily going to be weekly. There are 6 modules, but we might be doing training throughout the week. So there might be 2 or 3 in 1 week. There might be 4 in 1 week, but there might be 1 in 1 week. But we will be continuing to move you along in the process. The classes, not all of them will be live. This was already talked about in the webinar that we just did, but it could be, we will be doing a variety of trainings. So some of it will be live Facebook, some of it will be live webinars, some of it will be pre-recorded videos, some of it will be templates, some of it will be keywords, landing zones, things that whatever we need to provide for you to move you forward. So I'm going to stop there because the questions are there. Keep posting them. We'll answer there, but we're going to go over to the other group in a few minutes and jump over there and just greet you guys for those who have signed up. So we're signing off, and have a great night.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.